Let's get this shit. Let's get this shit. Let's get this shit. Let's get this shit.
Hey guys, today I wanted to make a video going over a bunch of great personas in episode Aigis and how to build them. In the past I've done separate videos for each persona, but here for episode Aigis, I thought I'd just put everything in one vid. Now I won't be going over step by step on how to build every persona I mentioned in this video, as that would make it half an hour long. But I thought I would still show the builds I used, and maybe include a quick fusion recipe if I have something for them. This video did take a little while to make, so if you end up liking it, be sure to like and subscribe as it really helps out. So combat in episode Aigis is of course very similar to base Persona 3 Reload, but with some changes due to the addition of 3 new theurgies. Aigis can now use Justice, an AoE Pierce theurgy with high crit rate, Dreamfest, which does AoE dark damage with a high charm rate, and finally Shadowhound, a very strong single target Pierce theurgy. To unlock Justice, you'll need Archangel and Power, Dreamfest is Incubus and Succubus, and Shadowhound is Cahulin and Skaha. Some theurgies did get removed, with the most notable one being Scarlet Havoc. Scarlet Havoc was by far the best theurgy in base Reload due to it being AoE, having a high crit rate, and being unlocked at only level 54. Its replacement Shadowhound is slightly stronger, but it is only single target and unlocks far later at level 75, so it seems like the devs did try to balance things out a little bit. Thus, the strongest personas in episode Aigis tend to be the ones that can abuse the new theurgies the best, namely Pierce personas. But there are some other damage dealers that stand out, mostly physical ones, and I will go over some supports and healers as well. Two things I should note before starting. First, the way the compendium works in episode Aigis depends on your difficulty. On Peaceful to Hard, you can carry over your compendium from the journey, while on Heartless, you start fresh. I'll be doing these fusions as if someone was starting brand new, as it makes them applicable to anyone, but definitely adjust them if you are carrying stuff over. And secondly, fusions in episode Aigis are a bit annoying because we don't have Arcana Burst to level personas at the point of fusion, cause there are no longer social links. Most personas learn their best skills after some levels, so you may need to level them a bit for these fusion paths. The simplest ways to do so are just by beating battles with them equipped, or by using growth skill cards on them. If you don't want to level a certain persona, you could just skip that skill, or maybe add it later via a skill card. So starting off, the DLC personas end up being the strongest damage dealers due to their exclusive driver skills, which boost their specific element by 75%. This makes Arsene and Milady the best theurgy users if you have them. For Arsene, if you're early game, you can kinda just use him as is, he'll be plenty strong enough. The fusion path here will be more for late game, as that's the point where the best skills are unlocked. To make this version of Arsene, first I took Onmoraki and this persona to make Baphomet, passing down Null Light. Then I took Baphomet and Pixie to make Neko Shogun, carrying over Null Light and Dark Boost. Following this, I took Thanatos and Nekomata to make Ganga, passing down Dark Amp and Maeigaon. Then I took this persona plus Pixie to make Zorro. And finally Zorro plus Jack Frost to make Jack-o'-lantern. Then you're able to fuse Arsene, passing down Dark Amp, Dark Boost, Maeigaon, and Null Light. I added multi-target boost and Spellmaster from skill cards. Spellmaster is available very late from the antique store. And Enduring Soul here is very much a flex slot, so it can be anything you want. Milady is by far the best damage dealer in episode Aigis due to there being 2 new strong Pierce Theurgies. Making Milady even stronger is actually super simple due to her persona Bishamonten having all the skills she'd want. You can fuse Bishamonten and Unicorn to make Milady. I carried over Vile Assault, Pierce Boost, Pierce Amp, and Crit Rate Amp. I went with Vile Assault because it's by far the strongest move when an enemy is down, as it gets a 50% bonus. And single target works well with Shadowhound eventually. Then I added single target boost, add Pupil, and resist fire from skill cards. One discovery that was made a little while after Reload came out was that Crit Rate Boost and Crit Rate Amp don't stack, so only stick to Amp for mid to late game builds. Despite Scarlet Havoc being removed, Cendrillon is still one of the best damage dealer due to slash moves having such a high crit rate. And Cendrillon was pretty much the best persona in base Reload, and I never actually made a video for her, so I thought I'd quickly do a build here. Cendrillon is very simple to build, like Milady, because Siegfried has almost all the skills she'd want. I fused Siegfried with Archangel and passed down Brave Blade, Slash Amp, App Pupil, and Crit Rate Amp. Then I added Slash Boost, Single Target Boost, and Resist Dark from skill cards. I went with Brave Blade over something like Vorpal Blade because of its higher single target damage and crit rate. Aside from these 3, there are some other DLC personas that are great. Johanna has Strike Driver and Physical is broken, so she's obviously good. Vanadis, despite not having a driver skill, is great due to Masquerade's high crit chance. Goemon is still good for King and I. Lastly, Satan Taisei is very useful, not even for damage, but because they get access to Automataru and Auto Rebellion in the level 40s. Otherwise, Automataru isn't unlocked until level 74, so yeah, use Satan Taisei for it, or at least pass it on to another persona from them. That was it for all the pay-to-win DLC personas. For non-DLC, there are still a lot of good ones. Super early on you have Archangel, due to them having App Pupil, a passive that doubles your crit rate. A little later, there are 2 good physical personas in Jikokuten and Eligor. I use Jikokuten as kind of a hybrid starter and slash user due to their innate skills and high strength and luck stat. Eligor is the earliest persona with Pierce Boost, letting you do a lot of damage with the Justice Theurgy. Black Frost is one of the best users for dark damage and Dreamfest due to their good stats and learning Dark Boost naturally. I already made a full video on Black Frost, so you can check out how to build them there. It is a pretty offensive build, but you can always replace stuff as you see fit. Before going on to more damage dealers, I wanted to talk about the support personas I used, as they get often overlooked despite being some of the most important. Mid-game in both base Reload and episode Aigis, I used Chulainn as my buffer/debuffer due to their innate skills. To make this Chulainn, I fused Girimehkala and Shiisa to make Orobas, carrying over Marakunda. Then Orobas and Archangel make Thoth, passing Marakunda and resist ice. You do have to level this persona to 44 in order to learn Concentrate. Finally, Yatagarasu and Thoth make Chulainn, passing down the skills just mentioned. Chulainn learns the rest of the skills needed via level up, and I added Invigorate 2 from the Antique Store. This made a convenient mid-game support that has Charge, Concentrate, Attack Up, Defense Down, and some other nice passives. As you get later in the game, you can transfer this build onto another great support, Trumpeter. Excluding DLC, Trumpeter is by far the earliest user of Debilitate, one of the best support skills in the game. All you have to do is fuse the Chulainn we just made with Kaiwan and pass along any skills that you'd want. From there, you can continue to use Trumpeter or eventually move the skills onto any support you'd want to make. Along with a buffer/debuffer, one of the most overlooked personas to build is a full auto buffer to use at the start of every fight. I mentioned this in my Siegfried video, but if anyone doesn't know, you can go into the settings and turn off persona memory so that you start off with your auto persona at all times. For most of base Reload, I used Hecaton Kairos as my starter because they naturally learned Onmoraki and have a really high endurance stat for their level. But truly, literally anyone can be a starter, you just need the right skills. For a healer in mid-game, I found that Hariti works really well because they kinda learn every good healing skill super early, and you have Invigorate 3 on top of that. To make this Hariti, I first took a Sandman of at least level 24 and combined them with Orthrus to make Sati. Then I made Parvati and leveled them to level 52 for Divine Grace. Divine Grace isn't 100% needed, so level 52 is optional. Then I just took the Chulainn we made earlier and combined them with Parvati. I carried over Fast Heal, Growth 2, Divine Grace, and Resist Elect. You could replace something here with Invigorate 2 from the antique store if you wanted. With this, I had pretty much everything I could ask for: healing, ailment removal, revives, and SP regeneration. Late game, if you want a different healer, just transfer some of the skills over. For late game non-DLC damage dealers, there are a lot of good options. Siegfried, despite Scarlet Havoc being axed, is still a good persona and you'll need to level them anyways for Slash Amp. I have a dedicated video for Siegfried, and the same still applies here, so you can check that one out. Just remember crit rate boost and amp don't stack, so you can change that one part. Around the same level as Siegfried is Bishamonten, who basically comes pre-built with nearly everything you'd want. They have good pierce skills, pierce boost and amp, as well as crit rate amp. To make Bishamonten even better, I added App Pupil, multi-target boost for the Justice Theurgy, and Null Ice to cover his weakness. To make this Bishamonten, I first combined Osei and Mott to make a Tropos, carrying over multi-target boost. Then I took King Frost and Archangel to make Orthros, carrying over Null Ice and App Pupil. Then Orthros and Nebros make Akuni Nushi. And finally Akuni Nushi plus Atropos to make Bishamonten, passing down multi-target boost, Null Ice, and App Pupil. Bishamonten then learns all their needed skills via level up. From level 70 onwards, you get access to many more good Fizz personas, such as Otavaka for Strike and Susanoo for Slash. These personas are also notable for having the first Automataru skill for non-DLC. If you're not using Arsene, then Thanatos works well as a late game dark persona, but you can also use them as a support due to their good resistances. I made a very detailed Thanatos guide which covers many different build options, so if you're interested, check that one out. And finally, the general best non-DLC Pierce persona is Shiva due to their unique move Palaya. They are unlocked late at level 82, but if you get to this point, they can be worth building. To make Shiva, I just combined the Bishamonten we already made with Karamu Tengu to make Barong, carrying over Pierce Boost, Pierce Amp, Crit Rate Amp, and Null Ice. Then I fused Barong with Rongda to make Shiva. I then used skill cards for App Pupil, Single Target Boost, and Multi-Target Boost. I used both Single Target and Multi-Target here because Single Target affects the Shadowhound Theurgy, while Multi-Target affects Perlaya. So those were all the notable personas that I used in episode Aigis. There are higher level ones than Shiva, but they kinda use the same templates we've been going over, so you can just copy and paste onto whoever you like. And level 80-ish is a perfectly fine level to beat the final story boss anyways. But yeah, hopefully this video was helpful. I know there was a lot of fusion stuff, but I try to keep it as simple as I could, and of course everything is written in the description. Again, be sure to do all the nice algorithm stuff if you like the vid, and hope you all are liking episode Aigis. Peace.